had a lot of practice with the system, volunteering my time in a school that uses that curriculum in Kumasi. That was even way before I got married.
Sometimes you feel so stressed. Sometimes you feel, am I going to make it? You can't really predict the future. So if you are not very focused and determined to get it done, you may back off along the line.
I mean, just encouraging them, because you see, when you're going through a process of transforming, it's hard. It's like there's an old you competing with a new you. It's hard for a lot of people, and this is why they give up.
The differences of our upbringing can play a huge role and can become the reason why we have conflict.
So I told them that if you don't employ me, how do I get the experience that I need to survive in the industry? And they were shocked.
On life's journey, not everyone is meant to be with you on that journey.
Be a part of She Inspires this and every Wednesday on the IMDrive on Sunny 88.7 FM, 8:30 a.m. and live on Facebook same time. Also join in on Sunny TV every Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. She Inspires is proudly brought to you by She Inspires.
This is She Inspires, and my guest today is Precious Bonsu. She is the founder of the WIT School. I'm Jennifer. So Precious, let's talk. How old is the WIT School?
The WIT School will be 5 years next year.
5 years.
June. Yes.
No, you go for conferences and they're here. I started with this, and you're thinking, but I've had this for God knows how long, and I can't build what this man has.
Yeah.
Is there more to it? So I want to ask you, Precious, do you have like a rich uncle, like a rich auntie, grandma left you like a lot? Because, I mean, this school is in a prime location, let's face it. And 5 years you've sustained it. I want to know how you've been able to fund, how it started, any challenges you've had along the way, how you've navigated your way through sustaining a school in Ghana.
Great question.
Thank you, Precious.
I have rich aunties and uncles, that's for sure, but I have a bigger God, right? And a grand vision, that keeps me up at night. I think that's the first ingredient. Before your one CD, you have to have a dream that you do not let go, that haunts you every single day. And for me, that dream was, how do I get more children to become like me as the barest minimum? I'd want them to rise 50 times higher, but at least how do I get them to my level? And I saw education as the pathway. So here's how it started. Again, I was in school. I got the opportunity to do my internship, which was another great thing about my module, my course.
Which country were you in, Ghana or elsewhere?
In Ghana, so in KNUST. And you're supposed to do a whole semester of industrial attachment with a company. So I got the opportunity to do that with TV3. So while I was there, again, I told you I don't like to idle around. So I was looking for work to do. So I was just moving around, offering what I knew, what I had picked up from school to different departments. And my boss was generous to dump all the work on me, which was great for me because that's how I operate. So while I was there, at the end of the attachment, you're supposed to come out with a project. So you either write a book, publish something. So I wrote my first book. It's called The Magic Tooth. So that was fetching me money.
So I'm bringing you the juices. So
Yes.
we started from Amazon, okay?
So I started from Amazon. I put my book there. Obviously, the talent was free. I had to pay illustrators, and some of them I paid them with a dream and a vision of, when we sell on Amazon and we get money, I will pay you back. And I work with most of them still till today. And then after that, when I finished school, went back to work at TV3 for a couple months, and then I got the chance to volunteer. So here's the thing, there's no labor without reward. But reward could come in the form of cash, which you can spend in 2 days and it's gone, or it can come in the form of networking. It can come in the form of now knowing Jennifer, and so if you wanted to go on her program, it's not you paying thousands of CDs to do that, it's just by phone call. And so I was picking up all those rewards along the way. If you love playing video games, you'd see how you can be picking up coins as you progress. So I volunteered with this Tap to Educate initiative where they had tablets that they were going around rural schools to teach the kids literacy. So they were teaching them how to read, write, and spell. And so I donated my books to that platform, so when they go in these villages, the kids can read Magic Tooth on the tablets, just like the kids that were buying them off on Amazon. And so that also opened up my dream of being in touch with my audience, because I would go with them and then I'll be reading the stories to the kids. And I remember the founder saying to me, Precious, you are phenomenal in the classroom. It's like the children, when they see you, it's like they've seen Santa Claus. They absolutely love you. And the fact that they know that you wrote the things that they're reading double inspires them, because now they know they can be like you. So I did that for a whole year. And then I said to myself, I'm not an illustrator, which means if I wanted to publish books every month, I have stories for years. I can write 100 stories for you right now. And it's a gift God gave me. However, how sustainable is that? So I came up with another project that I did in school called Treasure Kids Newspaper, which was a monthly newspaper for children. So I started working on that project. And so whatever money I'd get, I will pump it into how to design it. And I did that project for 2 years straight, doing the design myself, writing the stories myself. I'll do it in my room, pick a cab, go to airports where I had set up my team, go there, work on the paper, send the money to the printers, get it printed, beg for leave days, go for school tours, run back to the office. I was doing the whole shebang.
Wow.
And at night, I'll stay up to do the paper, to design the paper to get into print. So,
and you were doing all this with the Wit School in mind, or hadn't come into the picture yet?
No, Wit School was not part of the picture at all. So follow the story. The books brought about the idea of having a periodic publication, which is the newspaper, which came out every month. So I got to meet with a lot of schools and head teachers, and I started seeing the problems that existed in our education system. Like, I wrote this book for 7-year-olds. How come this 9-year-old can't read? You know, how come they don't know this word? And so I started getting really upset about it. And people who are successful will tell you the things that you hate and you want to change so badly are the things that will eventually bring about your entrepreneurship.
I heard that a lot.
And so I was doing that, and then I was like, literacy is such a big problem in Ghana, and those who know how to read don't know how to write, those who know how to write don't know how to read, those who know how to read don't know how to speak. The problems were too many. And so I thought about maybe over the weekends and vacation, I could group a bunch of kids and do it for free. So I started with my best friend's daughter, who is my goddaughter. And I remember I'll go to her house and she's always watching TV. And I said to her, Gabrielle, why are you always watching TV? So when the light goes off, what would you do?
What happens?
Like, I don't know. I said, do you have books at home? She said, yeah. She brought the book, we read together, and I said to her, so now pretend you're reading. She absolutely loved it. Every time I would go to her house, she'd bring me 10 books to read to her. So it started like that. So I knew that, the children actually want to read these books. She said nobody's really caring to do that with them. Yeah. And so that December, my best friend helped me, literally begged a friend of mine to, can I use Under Your Tree to do this thing? And you won't believe, a week to, so here's the thing, I talk about faith all the time and people don't talk about the practicalities of faith. I had my graphic designer, who was also helping with the newspaper, do a flyer about the December camp. And it said, Treasure Kids Christmas Camp. Venue, few blocks away from Nyaho Clinic.
Few blocks.
Airport Residential.
Okay.
I didn't have any dad who had a house over there. I didn't know anybody in Accra who had a house over there. There was no venue, but that is the venue I put. So I started scouting the place, and randomly my friend was in his friend's house. He calls me out of nowhere, because I would normally be praying saying, God, can you just give me a house? Can you just give me
A few blocks away from Yahoo.
Because that would be lying to the parents who had had paid money to want to come. So there was no going back. There was no saying I've changed the venue. I kept believing, and 2 weeks on, he calls me, and I'm like, oh, I'm running around Airport Residential. He said, what are you doing there? Because I'm literally there too. Where are you? I said, I'm by the mosque on the Nyaho Road. He said, I'm in the house adjacent to the mosque. I'm like, oh, cool. Is that your house? He said, no, I'm visiting a friend. I went there, the two of them were there, and literally when I walked into the house, it looked like a cottage. And I was like, yo, this is like the perfect, in my imagination. See, this is my few blocks, but let me not push it, because I don't even know the owner of the house. Sat with them, told them about it. Both of them signed up their children. And then I break it to them.
Serious?
By the way, your children and myself, we don't have a venue for this. He was like, you don't have a venue and you've collected the money. I said, yeah. So they, had through my conversation somewhere. So when I was leaving, I was like, God, please, can you let this man just change his mind? I said, a week after that encounter, I was again driving around the same neighborhood. And then I think because I was scouting spaces, so my glasses were down, and my friend's friend spotted me. He was in a barbering shop, spotted me and let the guy run to my car and asked me what I was doing there, and asked if I had found the place. And I said, no, they are calling $20,000.
At the time.
I don't even know what to do about it, because if push comes to shove, I'll just cancel this thing, send everybody their money. And he was like, oh, that's so sad. He really prays for me. And we left it. Sunday, I went to my best friend's house, told her daughter to pray for me. Now, I really want people to follow my story, because I've never shared this anywhere. I asked her, she was 4 at the time, to pray for me, because I had filmed her saying, hi, everybody, meet me at the Treasure Kids camp this December.
Precious, that was a lot of faith.
I'm telling you.
That was some crazy faith.
It was really crazy. And she did that. She prayed for me. And literally 2 hours after that, I was lying in bed with her mother. And I get a message from the man that owned the house that I went to.
It looks like a cottage?
It looks like the cottage. So like a Treasure Kids cottage. And he was like, so you won't come for this house and do it up for your camp thing? And I'm like, no, wait a minute. Maybe he's sending it to the wrong person. So I called him immediately, and he was like, yeah, I will move out of the place for, you said a month, right? I said, yeah, for you to use it if you want it.
Wow.
And I have told my friend, and he says you can come for money to help you, paint it and do all of that. I own a ton of gratitude to those two gentlemen. So he gave me his house. His friend gave me the funds to clean up the place. So called my best friend, and in 1 week, so we had from Sunday to another Sunday. From Monday, the next Monday was the beginning of camp. And the kids literally walked into the Treasure Kids camp. Cowbell, who was sponsoring our newspaper, donated swimming pool, bouncy castles, everything, gave us free drinks and all of that. My best friend is also a caterer, so she was cooking the food for the kids. We literally did, it all came together. And so that's how it started. So a friend of mine introduced me to a gentleman that needed an article in the papers. I wrote it for him, and he was like, no, this is so good. So I was telling him about the newspaper, and he was like, well, aside the newspaper, I've been with you, and children literally gravitate towards you. Do you have any plans of doing in a school or whatever? So I told him about the camp I had done 6 months earlier. And he was like, would you need assistance? I was like, yeah, of course.
When you said assistance, he meant like financial assistance?
Financial assistance. And I was like, yes, of course, I would love that. But I need a space, because I had given back the other space to my friend at the time. So he was like, okay, how about I speak to my friend that owns ANC Mall? Like he's the MD for ANC Mall. I said, okay, that's fine. So he funded our 6 months rent as investment for the school, and that's how we ended up at ANC Mall. So WIT school started at the ANC Mall as an after-school program, a vacation camp space, and so we worked. I mean, I worked for the next 6 months because I needed to continue what we had started. And so this whole Finnish curriculum, because I needed to give Ghanaian parents and Ghanaian children something different. Education that will stick with you for life. Education, learning that it's a lifelong journey and doesn't stop when you leave the WIT school. We've had amazing stories about most of our kids going on to other schools and becoming the stars of those schools.
Stay with us right on She Inspires. We'll be right back. I'm Jennifer.
Daffy's Ohima Daffy's Ohima feminine mischanti. A massa bosomene so Emma. Ye bui and sayente ya ubia. A san siesi man kasa. Daffy abusiana ekese. Intie dia man for kafa and nupano.
Daffy shower gel and po na money. You wotuntum dear and a cocoa dear. What did Jaria and my natural look?
Mensu de misu Daffy's feminine cleanse and a capsules ne CSM. And my main thing carboni be a me Jimmy who dear and cassa.
Daffy nupano. And what dance here be Daffy sana. Aba ma yenina. And kratoi FD ahwehwema gya to say.
Elegance, comfort, pristine, relaxing. Welcome to Hotel Kasavere, located in the heart of East Legon, Accra. Perfect home away from home. With incomparable attention to detail, we have mastered the unique culture of Ghanaian hospitality. Treat yourself to delicious local and continental dishes from our 24-hour restaurant and take a cold swim to relieve your stress. Call Hotel Kasarere today on 0540 348876 for a truly royal experience.
Hey, stop! You little man, just see him go. This baby can run all day long. I wonder what I would do if there were two of him. I am very happy I decided to wait before having another child. Luckily, I met a family planning advisor at a salon who gave me great advice. I also claimed the Advantage Secure Gifts. Now I can space the birth of my children as I want. With Secure, I decide.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, finally, the week is ending. So, Akosia, what are your plans for the weekend?
You know my Saturdays, they are spent at First Choice Hair and Beauty Salon. It is almost like a family hangout. I can get my hair done together with my daughter, while my husband gets that classy grooming that makes him look so fine. Have you know that? Then we sit together and have a mani-pedi session while we just talk and sip on some juice. We all head to the spa for a relaxing massage. It is all about pampering ourselves, so Cynthia is the #1 stop shop for your comfort in beauty for the whole family. They are into beauty supplies as well, nail extensions. And when my in-laws in town, we take her along to select the latest wigs from the Asana Care collection. Variety Pani.
Hey, sir.
Yes, locate First Choice Beauty Salon on the Spintex Road, 200 meters from Zenith Bank. Call 0244 370 894 or WhatsApp 0249 970 407.
Precious, as you're sharing your story along the way, I'm hearing how many men have been a blessing to you, who figured out they needed some help, they suggested, they were able to help you. And, you know, some meet young women who say, you know, I'm trying to get into this job, I'm trying to get this way. They say they want to help me, but there's strings attached.
Yeah.
How have you been able to get the help of some of these men, and yet you've been able to hold on to your principles, or you've not had to succumb to anything because they didn't have those thoughts coming in, if it's been that way for you. But how's it been actually? Share that with us.
It's been a very different story from what I hear a lot of women go through. I am in no way undermining the reality on the ground.
Because it does happen.
It does happen. I mean, the opposite sex do attract, and sometimes some people along their entrepreneurial journeys have met their husbands and all of that, which are great stories. But in my case, I think one thing that has helped me, when you meet me, you would know I have got principles and values. And it's something that your body language, for instance, will communicate.
How can my body language communicate that I have my...
Number one, how you appear.
Okay.
You know, I seriously have issues with the way some of us women present ourselves in the workplaces, even in society. There's a way that you can dress up, for instance, and I think that being part of Miss Ghana was also a big eye-opener, because you're taught to be a lady, full on, how you dress, what you put on, and if you've dressed in a way, you've heard people probably say, dress how you want to be addressed.
Exactly.
When you dress in a way that shows this woman means business, people take you seriously, and they shift from pleasure to let's actually
talk business now. Okay.
So it's been one of the, if you've ever met my mom, you would see that she exudes woman of substance. And so I adopted that, where I let, first of all, because beauty will attract people to you, but it's your character and your personality that will make them stay or go, or will make them act in a way that you don't want to, them to. And sometimes I feel as though we don't show how serious we are about life as women as much as we should. So a majority of successful people are men, and so in my line of work I have men working for me, I have worked for men, so on and so forth. And sometimes I have seen their perceptions change because I am a beautiful woman, so in their head they're thinking, oh wow, okay, this is a golden opportunity. And 5 minutes into the talk they're like, no, this one is too,
this one is
headmistress, this one is too headmistress. Let's just stick to business or lose her 100%. And so let your talents, let what's inside of you, let the values and the talents and the skills God blessed you with show forth. And if you, I've seen how people get blinded by your values once they get to experience them. Initially, they would see the outside, and then you show them what's inside of you, and all of a sudden, you know what? They know that trying to go beyond business might even jeopardize their relationship with you, and they respect you so much that they don't want to jeopardize that. And so I have seen how that alone, posture, you know, as a woman, you have to put on a certain posture of do not even think about it. So it's like that. I walk into your office and I will shake you. Okay, hello.
Hello, Precious.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam
My name is Precious and I am from the WIT School. I just wanted to share a proposal I had with you, if you have 2 minutes.
I have 2 minutes, I think you'll be okay, but let's talk business.
And, you know, just suppose that too, if I had come and I was like, hello.
Hello, Precious.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Beautiful smile.
You see, it's gone there. It's already gone to beautiful smile. And then I start blushing and I'm like, oh, thank you. Half of them even forget why they're in the office. You came with Treasure Kids newspaper. Can you start selling that?
Treasure Kids.
You know, it's important for you to, as a woman, really, really look at yourself. And I practice this in the mirror.
Okay.
I tell people, cut out small talk. Sometimes just get down to business.
Get down to business.
The tone of your voice. If I, you know that no. But if I came as, yes, I'd like to talk to you about the WIT school, blah, blah, blah. It's a voice of authority. And so all of a sudden, you open your arms to let's do business rather than she can be my friend in any way, shape or form.
Precious, these are some great tips you shared today on She Inspires. I'm sure some young women out there have picked up something today.
They should.
And many years to come, I'm sure going to say, no, I learned that from some lady called Precious. Thank you all so much. Precious, you've got to share your top 3 lessons with us. As I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, Jennifer, you better take networking seriously. Yeah. I mean, Precious, you're a single successful woman. I don't know if you have any angle to share with that on lessons along those lines. But your top 3 lessons on She Inspires for our viewers and our listeners.
So my top 3, number 1, build great relationships, long-lasting relationships, lifelong relationships that have meaning, relationships that go beyond I know this person. Relationships, I've had some parents that I knew as friends, but now they are clients of the school. So that's a top 1. If you would call that networking, try as much as possible to make proper friends. I would go to work at a place and I'm looking to be friends with the bosses. Seriously, do that. Be very intentional about the relationships you build, because it will open, it's a currency that transcends any kind. It's the one that will open doors that people with money are begging to go through. So that's my top number 1. Be mindful of your relationships, sustain them, treat them with all the importance that you would want to. Number 2, I believe in hard work so much. It's something that eludes a lot of young people. We think hard work will kill us, or we're too big for this kind of thing. I own this school, but it doesn't stop me from sweeping if I have to. You know, it's that servitude mindset. It's that God saying, if you want to be the greatest, you have to be the least amongst them. It's you being comfortable washing the feet of your disciples. It's you being comfortable picking up the rubbish to put in there without calling the cleaner to come do that. So you have to have a servitude spirit. You have to wake up every morning and ask, how can I be of service to the world and the people in my life? That's number 2. And it comes from hard work. Sometimes it's hard. You're always tired, but you have to keep doing it, because
keep going.
Ecclesiastes will tell you there's more sleep when you actually die. And there's no labor in the grave. So you must be willing to work, put in the work. And the last thing is to have some really dangerous faith, you know, unwavering. Faith that at the last hour, last minute, last second, even if they are throwing you into the fire, you would know that Jesus will come and pull you out. That faith in God is so important. It's not about plenty prayers. I think sometimes we pray and the belief system is still very weak. Before you pray, know you have received it. And when you close your eyes, let the things that you imagine scare you. As an entrepreneur, if it's easy to do, then it's not risky enough. And the entrepreneurship is taking risks and doing things that people think you aren't able to do. And pray to God for wisdom. Those are my...
Pray to God for wisdom. Thank you all so much for your time today, Precious. Thank you, for hosting us at the Wit School. Thank you for all these, because I mean, all these wisdom nuggets you're sharing right from the start of your story to this point. Thank you so much. I believe your story has inspired someone
I hope
in one way or the other, definitely. And we've picked up some new words as well. And you can't be Precious and not do that. So thank you all so much for joining us on today's episode of She Inspires. My name is Jennifer. A big thank you to our sponsors, Duffy's Health and Beauty, First Choice Hair and Beauty, Secure, and also Hotel Kasirari. Today we've been coming away from the Wit School inside East Legon. Precious is the founder. Precious Bonsu is the founder of the Wit School. I'm Jennifer. We'll catch you next week on another inspiring episode of She Inspires. Bye-bye.